This, do our minutes.
So I am calling the meeting to order. It is 4:38 on March 25th, 2025. This is the Community Relations Committee of the City of Wood Creek. So I will call roll. Member Iris Ramos.
Present.
Betty Matt.
Present. McDonald,
McDonald, I was saying
but a lot of people call me Betty Mac.
Betty McDonald.
And McDonald, just like a hamburger is my last
Okay,
name.
Betty McDonald.
Yes.
Present.
I'm present.
All right, Cheryl Mills.
Present.
All right, thank you. So I have a report, just on what's been going on. I got an email from Cheryl, has some questions or stuff that happened through, council that would be of interest to you all. One was a request for proposal for photography of facilities and events. And it's for a year, not to exceed $3,000. So that request for proposal went out. The deadline is Friday. And so we got a couple in that are promising. So we'll see that happen. I doubt seriously that we'll be able to have them by Arbor Day. So we'll probably still have to do cell phone photography for Arbor Day unless somebody shows up with a camera or just wants to done like that. So that shouldn't be a problem. We voted to take or to participate in the March 29th Emergency Preparedness Fair this Saturday from 10 to 1. The Emergency Preparedness Fair, we've done it for all 4 years that it's been going on. And we allocated $500 from the Community Relations Fund, which is y'all's currently, we think of that as, sort of y'all's budget, although we haven't done a budget for the Community Relations Committee, but there's a Community Relations budget. So we're all sort of drawing for that. So there's $500 for that. How much were the blankets? Pennies? Yeah, so we won't even spend $100. So that's not a problem. $3,000 on the photography, that's probably gonna hit. We'll probably do 3,000 with the events that we have. Council member Bailey asked to authorize a subcommittee for Wood Creek senior programs and to implement regular yoga classes and similar activities at the parks and to bring the budget back. That passed. We don't have a budget yet, and we don't know the logistics. I know that it's like working with yoga instructors is a little different. It's like I don't think we're going to put it. I mean, not. That didn't sound exactly right. Yeah, I mean, just the payment, but some people just say, okay, well, so here, punch the card, donation base. So we would have to obviously negotiate what that would look like, but that was Monica and I were just walking around and said, take advantage of the triangle, just do outdoor yoga or something. We've always wanted to do music and other things, but yoga seemed like a no-brainer. And there's plenty of, really good yoga instructors in town that we can talk to. So,
Is that something that we will be handling, or is that something undecided?
I really don't, I wouldn't jump on it unless you just wanted to. Because it's not a community event. It's a program that would be, really put together by the subcommittee on senior programs. So there's a few things they want to do. I've moved neighbor to neighbor program under them, for instance. So again, it's community relations in a way, but y'all may decide you want to get involved and reach out, but at this point, It's not something that is that would be on your agenda.
Okay.
Or on the calendar, the community calendar. So, then we've got the 4th of July event, that's gonna be on the agenda for tomorrow. We've been approached by, the VFW for Wimberley and Wood Creek to sponsor the fireworks each night of the rodeo. Instead of last year, the 4th of July fell on, was it the Thursday before the rodeo kicked off? So the rodeo grounds were ready to go and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, we'll just do a fireworks protect. So we brought a band in and it was fun, but that doesn't happen this year. So 4th of July is on Friday. So they said, well, why don't they'll just sponsor the fireworks each night. And so Wimberley said, that's great. We're definitely, so we're going to bring it to the council. So there's that, there's Spectacular, which we've done, every year, except for when we got rained out. We've done luminarias in the past. And then there's a citywide garage sale that kicks off right after Arbor Day. So those are some of the things, that's one of the brainstorming things that, we need to do on the calendar of events is, okay, all those things that we've done, which we're gonna keep doing, but here's the list, because what we want to be able to do is just say, okay, here it is for the year. We've got budgets assigned, we've approved the budgets, we're good to go. Next year we roll around, maybe it just all rolls over and the dates change. So anyway, that's, I'm looking forward to having that. That's something that's been looking for a long time. And then the last item on the updates from the liaison here is that, we also.
Who is it, excuse me, who is the liaison? Who is the liaison?
I am liaison at large.
Nah.
The decision by the council was that I would be the liaison for all committees unless I would delegate it out. Like if I'm gonna be out of town or something, I can delegate it, or if it's just like, no, council member Smith is so into this stuff and just wants to be there. So, okay, well, you're now the liaison. So I can do that at my discretion, but I'm your liaison.
Can you vote?
I cannot.
Just asking.
And then Deborah Hines moved, and action was approved to create a mayor's subcommittee on public art in Wood Creek, which doesn't directly impact y'all unless we did, like, let's say we commissioned something and decided to have a big to-do to announce it, then we would call in community relations to help with that. So there's that. So that's that. Any other questions of, council business? Okay, so, the first order of business of me as acting chair is that we need to discuss and take action on electing officers of your committee, for 2025. And so we entertain a motion to nominate a chair from the board.
I nominate Cheryl Mills as chair
All right,
of the CRC.
thank you.
I'm a second.
Seconded by Betty McDonald. And you're okay?
Okay, right now.
Okay, so I think we can take a vote on that. All in favor of Cheryl Mills as chair, please raise your hand, say aye. Thank you. That passes unanimously. Now we will entertain a motion for the vice chair of the committee.
I second that.
Second by Chair Mills. And
Yeah, I'll do it.
okay, so, all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Right, and the third order of business under here is to, nominate a secretary.
There's only one person.
There's only one person left, and it's something that when we fill out the committee, then for sure, say, really sort of like to pass this on somebody likes it better, so, and that's true of anything, but right now, with three of you, and you can also, well, we just won't have a secretary, we'll just take turns secretarying. The secretary,
What does the secretary have to do?
yeah, so the secretary is new to our committees, we haven't done this in the past. But basically, they would be responsible for, taking minutes, just getting minutes made, which, by the way, is, our minutes are strictly a recording of votes. So when you take the minutes, it's like, okay, a motion was made by this person, seconded by this person, you know, amended here. I mean, it's a recording of, it's a recording of the business of the thing. So there's very little discussion, that's ever logged in. It's not like illegal or anything, but, you know, you get these minutes that are this long that, you know, well, Cheryl Bill said this, and then Barry said that, and it's just, that is not, you know, it's a good recap, and we have recordings, that come off of here, and in fact, there's an AI, rendition of the recordings as they come off. So you can get a pretty decent recap of what the discussions were that you can, you know, sort of into the recap, but minutes are not as hard as they're made out to be. And then the secretary would also tend to work with, the chair, and or vice chair, you know, just like, okay, so, you know, we need to get the agenda to Tappy or to Carrie, you know, for uploading, we need to get that together and then send it out to them, and, you know, the secretary might send out emails to the members and say, hey, if you got any agenda items, make sure Cheryl gets them, you know, just sort of administrative function of the committee, and that's all it is. So, if in fact we want to nominate and there, actually, you could have a single person filling two roles. You know, you could have a vice chair / secretary, but, you're generally not going to do that.
I want to nominate Betty McDonald.
Betty McDonald.
Secretary.
All right, do we have a second?
A second.
All right.
I was gonna say, let's go, girl.
All in favor?
So, so we will call the vote. Everyone in favor, please raise your hand. All right, perfect. 3 unanimous votes. We have a great group of officers for the Community Relations Committee.
We have to.
And I hereby
Whoa.
Okay, so,
I'm sure it's.
the meeting is yours, Chairman or Chairperson Mills. Chairman.
Welcome.
So you're just gonna go down to the next item of business.
is it okay? Can you just give us a vision statement about your plan for this board?
It's our plan. Our plan, yeah.
Well, our plan.
One, I'm really excited to have us all together to do this. I'm kind of just taking the lead from what council is sending to us. So taking over some of the city events and really helping them grow, get more exposure, and then bring fun community events to the neighborhood that are, you know, friendly to neighbors of all ages, right? So I put together like a little wish list of things, just kind of brainstorming like what could be fun, what do we want to bring to the table, that we can kind of talk about. But the first thing, let's talk about setting a day and time. So the second item on the agenda is discuss and take action on a regular meeting day and time for the Community Relations Committee. We
Is that how
did
you got
that, not
here?
working. This is for this
one does.
meeting, yeah,
Okay,
for this one off. Unless Tuesday at 4:30 works. I would love it if we could do a morning, like a Thursday morning,
I would
or
love a morning.
Mid-morning?
like 11.
Mhm.
Okay,
Does that work?
So somebody make a motion.
so,
Well, let's, so,
we can make a motion.
yeah, you can discuss, okay, mid-morning is fine. Day is fine. You need to, what we're looking for is, okay, we want to meet, every Thursday morning at 11, or every
First
third
Thursday.
or every third Thursday or whatever. Right? So
And
that's what we're looking
There
for.
is significance for when it occurs in relation to when the council meeting.
The council meets on the second and fourth
Second and
Wednesdays.
fourth.
So if you had a Thursday meeting before the Wednesday meeting,
Yeah,
anything you do wouldn't necessarily get on.
so if we did the first Thursday,
If you did the Thursday meeting after the council Wednesday meeting, so if you did like the second or the fourth Thursday, you'd meet the day after council, so you would have anything from the council, that you could at least know about. You can't, it's not gonna be on your agenda. But you would at least know about it and could plan for it for the future, but then you would have something, if you needed something from the council, which you're going to need a lot.
yeah,
We would be able to get it on the council agenda for the very next meeting.
but would we need to get it on the first meeting, not the second?
It doesn't matter,
It doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't. Our first and second meetings are, second Wednesday and fourth Wednesdays. It's not like, okay, one is administrative and one is proclamations or something. Any business is fair.
Fair, okay.
So it doesn't, there are just some thoughts, it doesn't really matter, it really depends more on your schedules than on the council schedules, because we meet every 2 weeks, you're not gonna wait too long for it.
Let's look at my calendar really quick.
So we're gonna do Thursday. we're gonna do-
I would like to make a motion to schedule our community relations, committee meeting the first Thursday of every month at 11 a.m.
I second.
Okay, so Robert's rule said, okay, so there, motion has been made, by me, and seconded by Betty McDonald to have our regular meeting on the first Thursday of the month at 11 o'clock. Any discussion? And then if there's no discussion, then you just take the vote.
So that means our next meeting is next week.
Right before Arbor Day and then Easter, or yeah.
Yeah, we could get an agenda together before. What day is that?
The third,
The third?
Thursday, the 3rd.
Okay, we don't have any other committee meetings in that time frame.
Wednesdays.
Means I'm gonna have to change my golf days to Tuesday, but that's.
Yeah.
See, there's my one real work day out of the house.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy to do it. We've been talking about changing to Tuesdays.
I'll help you out.
Okay, so,
Okay.
It seems, this is the discussion.
yeah,
but-
discussion.
So we're doing an egg hunt on April 19th, which is Saturday.
Correct.
And so the first day in April is third, so would we have another meeting before that egg hunt?
We could potentially meet, like you and I
You
could
could
meet,
call.
you and Betty could meet,
Yeah.
you and Betty could meet.
You could call a second meeting too.
Or we could call a special meeting.
Or we could do Zoom?
Yes, that.
Not the three of us.
Yeah.
We can't meet in three, so either you and Betty could meet, you and I could meet, Betty and I could meet.
Or
we could
you
call
have a special meeting. And if you have a special meeting by Zoom, I think the law still says you have.
You have to record.
Like, well, no, I think the chair has to be physically present in the chamber.
Okay.
So, but everybody else can Zoom it.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's just, that's just, that's still a throwback to COVID days and
But how
trying,
do you get it recorded?
we record it on Zoom.
So you record her here,
Yeah, so everybody, if everybody's on Zoom, then we just hit record and
got
it works.
it, yeah, so,
Or the vice chair.
If I can't be here, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody, whoever's leading the meeting
We'll
is
talk about
supposed to be here.
Number 4, but it's kind of a rinse and repeat from last year. That one.
I mean, on Thursday.
I should back up number 4. Chat about this.
So if you did want to have like a special meeting before the egg hunt, there was the 3 of y'all. Then that's just the first thing you want to have on your agenda. Is to set a special meeting, on the April 3rd agenda,
Okay.
set the meeting for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, should we take a vote? Is there any other discussion or questions, comments about meeting on the first Thursday?
just to let you know, next month I'm not gonna be here,
In April
right? No,
or May?
I'm gonna be out of town from the 9th of April to the 10th of May.
Okay.
So we're not gonna have,
Yeah,
We will for the 4th.
yeah,
So you and I can meet.
yeah, so y'all can meet at will.
Okay.
may have to meet in March.
That's okay.
Well, we're
You
still,
can Zoom me if
we
you
still
want.
need to fill those other couple of seats too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe we can do that before Betty gets back.
I'm gonna be having fun in France, oh, thank you.
Please, don't, but do. All right, should we take a vote?
I'll eat some cheese for you.
Here, drink the wine.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so just call for the vote.
All right, everybody in favor of scheduling our, meeting the first Thursday of the month at 11 a.m.?
Hi,
Aye.
that makes me feel
All right, number 3, discussion and possible actions on final plans for Arbor Day. So I printed out, an updated notes from our last meeting and just to catch Betty up to speed on our Arbor Day plans. So there's a timeline. The event is Friday, April 4th, which is next Friday already, from 5 to 7 at the Triangle. If you look this over and if you have any questions, let me know, but on the second page, I had a couple of actually, what did I have for you, Iris?
And also, do you still need people?
Attendees always, but.
Yeah.
Do you need to give a report?
Yes, so there are a couple of things that are unconfirmed, the Birds Unlimited and King Feed.
Okay.
But if you'll look over your section and if there's anything that needs to be changed or updated.
The Watershed Association has been confirmed and they're also going to have a table. So, yeah, okay. Master Gardener, April Phillips is gonna be leader. Becky Denton is Master Naturalist. She let me know that they're gonna have a butterfly event for children, butterfly activity for children. Ron Titus is subbing for Laura Leggett, who is taking on more statewide responsibility with Native Plant Society. And he will be out of town, but he's gonna give me some literature, which is what they have done in the last 3 years. Given us, literature and magazines. I saw it just a minute ago, the Native American Seed catalog. So that's in the works. Wimberley Gardens was not very responsive. They're opening up a new store down at Square, called Kari, and which is gonna be wonderful. some.
Where in the square?
I'm not exactly sure,
Wow.
but it's going to be, the buyer that she uses is, the same people as Crate and Barrel. So it's gonna be higher end home goods.
Great.
Sorry. When Wimberley Gardens, I called, I texted, I left messages, I visited, and couldn't get a confirmation. They were just so busy. If you've gone by any of the stores, you've seen how busy. So I called Birds Unlimited, spoke with Hector Pena to see if they could. He was gonna check the calendar and get back with me. He did not. I called again and spoke with Mackenzie, who's at the front desk. And I've asked that if he didn't call today by 4:30, then please call me by tomorrow. So, I'm not sure.
I think if they confirm, we'll have room for them. I think we're not putting them on anything for marketing at this point, but if they show up, if they want to come to the table.
I've suggested it would be really sweet if they could hang bird feeders up in the trees. And that they could bring bird food and bird houses and.
We're Bird City after all, you know. Well,
Well, no, but we have trees that birds need. So I've asked them to focus on birds and trees that birds need. So King Feed is pulling through again this year with a tree and probably a plat of some seedlings.
Okay.
awesome. And tree, do you know any details yet? on
No.
that? Okay.
Terry and I are gonna go pick it up,
Awesome.
probably the end of this week or the beginning of next.
Okay. Wonderful.
So that's there. And.
Are they gonna set up a table or just the donation?
Mm-mm.
That's great.
They're pretty darn busy too.
Yeah.
I went over there today and to get. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and this is just an aside. Last fall, I, sent in a membership form for Arbor Day Foundation. They sent me trees. And so I planted them. There were sticks. She didn't send trees, they sent sticks. And we have 2 crepe myrtles, and we have 3 red buds that have budded. And I am amazed that any of them made it. It's simply very low ratio
Wow.
of germination. So
And that's a good sign.
that's a very good sign.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
5 trees that I am nurturing.
Cool. That you wanna do as a giveaway or?
I'm still nurturing them.
Okay.
I thought they would be a great thing to offer to the trees and park board to plant landscaping.
Okay.
I also had another idea, but I don't know when I can say it. I don't know who to say it to, actually.
I don't know what you wanna say, I don't know. What is?
I'm just saying.
Just say, I like your attitude. So the Master Gardeners do projects all over town. And, I thought it would be really nice if we could get some landscaping by Master Gardener project here. You know, just plant
They-
trees and keep it, maintain it. And we could get a design, a creative project proposal for it.
I think that's what's happening at Augusta Park. No?
What about these trees?
Is it Master
Yeah,
Gardeners partners?
yeah,
Or
there's-
someone
yeah.
partners?
Yeah, Claire's doing, I mean, it is a project.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're already doing.
There's plenty of room.
But there's, yeah,
It's a small, like, rain garden. Yeah, it's not real big, so there's plenty of room for
so
projects.
what I've heard from, and you're a Master Gardener, maybe you continue and then I'll tell you what I've.
So my idea was that we do a beautification project for Wood Creek. So not just the parks, although I think Champions One needs to be worked with for some. Got mission creep really bad. Keep jumping into trees and. But, we could, I think, it would be helpful if we could make a list of what we wanted in terms of projects for the city beautification, and then write a proposal. And I haven't met Claire, but I know that she's a Master Gardener intern. And so it just seemed like we'd have to get permission from the golf course to do some of the back work. Just because I believe they own the easements. And,
Depending on where, I guess.
yeah, the back is the easement for the,
Oh, here, one.
yeah. But I thought if we did some sort of, we don't have a downtown. This is the center of town, I think,
A triangle sort of, yeah.
but I thought it would be nice if we had some sort of project here that didn't interrupt with parking, but could make use of the space. I'm not sure how that would look. It would require some landscaping designs and plans. But that was an idea that
Oh, okay.
of course, that has nothing to do with these events.
Right. But it is something, I mean, it is perfectly okay for, one committee to say, hey, we've been talking about this, it'd be a good idea, we're just gonna need the help of one of the other committees. Can we get word to them, and will council, reach out and get on their agenda, we can come present, whatever, so there are ways to make that happen.
Yeah, so there are ad hoc committees, right?
Correct.
So it seemed to me that it would be, a great benefit if we could pull together the master naturalists, the native plants, and the master gardeners.
Yeah.
And come up with some plans for Champions One, which is at the end of this block, which is beautiful. I think it'd be a great contemplative garden for just sitting and sitting, looking at trees and birds. And then this area is a beautification. So, I don't know how to pursue that, but that was something that came up in one of my daydreams.
Do you know Jane Little?
Yes.
She wears her little tail off at Memorial Park. I don't know if she has she could be a good partner on that ad hoc committee.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Yeah, and I'm sorry I
Yeah.
didn't mention her, but
No, yeah.
they have their own little group, and I think that, can't remember Ruth's last name. She was.
Ruth Ann Gilbert.
Ruth Ann Gilbert. She was also working with that little group of the volunteers. But anyway, I'm sorry, I kind of hijacked this.
You did great.
So there isn't, that was just what I had been.
Maybe we
thinking
could
about.
chat with them at Arbor Day. They'll all be
Yes.
on site and say, hey, I have an idea. What are your thoughts? And just
And
run
the
it by them.
community garden as well.
Yeah.
I've got a bad case of Mission Creek. You know what that is?
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the agenda and going too far off,
Yeah.
what's on the agenda.
Yeah, what is Mission Creek?
When I jump from one mission to another.
Oh, I see.
I'm just kind of leaving it over there and saying, hey, why don't you do this?
Okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay, finalizing on Arbor Day. I feel really good about it.
What's the yellow name?
These are, things that need to be addressed that I need answers still from some
I
of the
see.
people.
But you got schoolyard dogs then?
Schoolyard dogs is confirmed, so I could do a little recap, but, so I was saying all those that are confirmed. For kids' activities, we have a face painter, we're doing story time with Monica Rasco. And then we're doing a plant planting station. So we'll get some plants from King Feed. Jacob's gonna bring a wheelbarrow full of dirt again. And then once I connect with everyone on final needs for each area, I'm gonna send out a list of, here's what we need, who has what. So I know you have a chair, you have 4 chairs and a table. I know I have 2 tables, so we'll collect our inventory and see where we're lacking or what else we need.
When will we do that? April 4th?
Third. So I'll have all of that
Just
before
send it
that.
out.
Yeah, I'll email it, yeah. So like this, I emailed out and then I've been talking to everybody individually. So
I have a question about the schoolyard dogs food truck. $2.50 tab for one item plus one drink per person. If a family of 6 goes up and orders food for 6 people,
They'll get 6 tickets, and they'll get 1 hot dog and then 1 drink for her ticket.
and
So their hot dogs are about
Value of-
$7.
$7.
Yeah.
So there'd be about 30 people that could get food on this tab,
Roughly.
you know.
And we have up to
31.
$300, but we established it, started tab historically, like, we would love Arbor Day to blow it out of the water and have a ton of people there. I think that was a pretty healthy budget compared to last year. And we can go up to $300, but at $250, they'll let us know, hey, you're about at $250. What do you wanna do? We've also are in talks of like really limiting the menu, so when you get that ticket, you're not going up and just getting anything off the menu. It's a limited menu.
Very smart, because
Yeah.
I was there
Yeah, I
for
like that.
science fair and the line was quite long.
Yeah, so it'll be just like regular hot dogs. I think the Chicago dog is the only like specialty dog we'll have on the menu. And then a vegetarian option, so.
I like tofu.
They have vegetarian chili, they have
Yeah.
vegetarian dogs, I think, I don't know what they're making,
Tofu
but I would
dogs,
guess,
yeah.
but yeah, they're vegetarian.
So excited about that. And then we have Wimberley shaved ice. We'll also, and I put a note down here too. So as, guests are arriving, like we want to get them to the welcome table to greet them, welcome them to Arbor Day, and then that's where they'll get a ticket. So if they try to just go up to the food truck and they can buy food. It'll be open as a vendor if they want to just buy food, but they'll need to come and check in with us and get a ticket for their food and for the tree raffle.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do we have a cap on when we shave ice? Because last year we gave her a check ahead of time and then we had to give her we had to give her a deposit and then for whatever we spent over her.
So I believe we are just doing the, I think it was 160. Do you remember what it was last year? 160 would get us 60 cones, which I said that would be enough. And then,
Yeah.
yes, I have a site plan too that I just didn't send it out, yeah.
Can you send it online?
Yes, now that everything is confirmed, I'm finalizing it and then I'll send it out with this final,
Okay.
sheet here. So they'll have all their own stuff and Shannon's in charge of all of the food, beverage and bathroom. So she's gonna do a popcorn stand again, and then she's actually gonna get some toppings to make it kind of like a fun dessert kind of station, if you will. She's getting some bottled water, and then we have the porta potties that will arrive Friday mid-morning. And so that is confirmed. She said she's already connected with you on that, Kathy. Is that Shannon with the porta potty?
Yes, I already got it.
Already,
Yeah,
okay.
I think I already paid for it too.
Awesome.
Can you go back up just a bit?
Yep.
Under my name, well, it's under Krista. For story time, last year, we had a quilt and some cushions. Is Krista gonna set it up like that? And a chair?
That's a great question. So, she's confirmed Monica. I will make a note to ask Krista, does she have everything? Will Monica bring everything, or do you want to volunteer to bring what you brought? Who brought all that? You?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I can bring that stuff, or Monica has quilts. No, she does.
I'll make a note to ask Krista
Ask
about Krista.
Monica what Monica wants. It's really her setup.
It is, but Krista's manning the kids' activity, so I'm gonna ask Krista to connect with Monica.
Okay, and then for the children's activity, Tabby ordered, quart size or half quart?
I'll hold up over there.
Yeah.
All over there.
Well, we got the banners,
Oh,
we got pots.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, we needed to get hot pots, because they're gonna forage.
Yeah, so that's what we need.
We got
So I was thinking if we had
popcorn
seeds,
books.
if we had seeds, we could take the pots that the foragers are in, put some dirt in them and let the kids plant seeds, if we have seeds.
I have a bunch of these.
Do you?
Yeah, so. They're more veggies, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Then bring the seats, and we can do that as well. Do you have somebody, manning that station?
The, the
Planting.
plant potting station. That is something that we'll need to confirm. Again, it's under Krista's purview, so if she's not feeling comfortable with it, she can let me know, but she's been handling everything for that, so other than actually securing the items.
I recommend Claire.
But I don't know if Claire's available to do that.
Well, I recommend that we pursue and ask Claire. How's that for clarity?
I can ask her if she wants to volunteer. She has a lot going on right now, so I don't think she will be able to, but I would love her there.
So my thought was that I would be at the introduction table, giving out the raffle tickets and having the literature and the sheets. I've asked Happy to fill out or print out some volunteer application forms so that they'd be available for people to sign up right then.
Okay, perfect.
I don't think Terry would want to volunteer. Maybe one of
I
the
think-
master gardeners, maybe. I don't know. They could be recruited. They just sit at a table.
Yeah,
We're gonna recruit council members soon.
yeah.
So it should leave it up to Krista to find somebody?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, Mission Kristen.
When I'm not making announcements and stuff like that, I can help.
Yeah.
Very serious.
I'll be floating. Jacob can help, like, he can help do that. All right. I'm gonna work with Tabby to do a, event. I've been blasting the Arbor Day, on Facebook and Nextdoor. Judy volunteered to actually go walk and put flyers around the houses at the triangle, the houses immediately around it. Just let them know as a courtesy, hey, this is happening, just give you a heads up again.
Where do people park?
So in years past, everybody's just pulled into the triangle perpendicular, so it feels weird rather than parallel parking, but it actually allows a lot of parking spots when you do it that way. And we haven't really had any issues thus far.
It's not those.
Yeah. Otherwise, down the road, along the road.
We'll get vendors to come early so they can set up.
So that was a question I actually had for you, Iris. If you can confirm what time your vendors are showing up
I've asked them to show up at 4 o'clock.
at 4? Okay,
That was the time you told me.
okay. As long as they have enough time, they
Set
can
up
arrive
at
anytime
4,
after 3.
and 5, and then close, shut down at 7, and then out of there by 8.
That
We
will
have the
absolutely-
space 3 to 8.
Okay, perfect. And now the banner's in, I'll get that up, our new banner. So I'll take the vinyl and do that this weekend,
So I
or
have
this week.
Tree City USA and I have City of Wood Creek
Mhm.
in that box.
This is the new banner we ordered for the front.
You have the city of Wood Creek banner
Yes, it's in the tub.
It's in the tub.
out there, or you have it?
I have it at home.
But I'm gonna need it for Saturday for emergency preparedness there.
I'll get it to you.
Thank you. I'll get it back for an hour then. Do you think we got another one?
No, I said, I think we should order one more,
Oh, yeah.
just to have
Oh, yeah.
an extra one, with a lot of stuff.
Okay, any questions on Arbor Day or?
Lots of.
The radio station.
Yeah, I've not made it over there. We do it Monday maybe?
For which?
The radio,
We would have-
You
where
want-
we talked about it.
You wanna come on? I mean, I can, anytime. You wanna do it this coming Monday?
It'd be our last Monday to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I know, I don't know where March went, I'm sorry.
I'll send them a note.
I'm like, what?
Who's gonna be the guest?
As long as Rick can stay with you, yeah, I can come.
Do you want me to do it?
Do you wanna do it?
It's
Okay.
not gonna be me.
So I would just be there a little bit before 8:30.
Let me make sure, I am free that morning.
But that's my segment, I mean, that's the Wood Creek Corner segment, so it makes the most sense.
Is
If I
it
know-
monthly or weekly? Did you do that?
Every Monday
Every Monday?
morning from 7 to 9. So they're not gonna tell me no if I'm putting, they're not gonna tell me no, just putting it part of the Wood Creek Corner segment.
By 8:30?
Yeah, so we kick it off at 8:30. So this coming Monday is also when they are, pushing Market Day. So Frank Curtis and Doug McLean from the Lions Club are always there as the regular guests. So I can't get you in at the 8 o'clock segment, but I can definitely get you in for my segment at 8:30. So that'll be basically all we talked about.
Is there something else that needs to be brought up that same day?
Oh, I always just say whatever's going on with Creek.
Okay.
It's very low key.
It's
Talk
this
about
weekend.
this meeting,
Yeah.
Bummed
and
out
it
with that,
changes,
Yeah.
well, you know.
So-
All right, I'll be there by 8:30.
so. Okay, thank you.
Is that
guys.
okay?
Yeah, wonderful. All right, I think we can move on. No one has
Oh,
any-
Any action that you want to take, any official action you want to take, that you need to vote
I have another question.
on. Okay.
Was Aqua Texas gonna show up?
I emailed
Involved?
Lauren, so she was very, on board with it, I just have not, let me see.
And will they have a table?
Just an info table, yeah.
And it's Lauren Xavier?
Yeah.
If you need me to check in with her, you could send me her contact
Okay.
and I can confirm it. Make sure she has her own table and answer her questions.
Okay.
Is there anything you're expecting?
No, I said, just if they still would wanna come out and set up an info table, and then I said, if you did want to get involved, more, you could sponsor the food truck or the snow cones or the face painter.
Or all of them?
I gave her
All
some,
of the above.
I gave her some options with the price of what it would cost to, sponsor it, so we'll see what. She's like.
Last year, Cypress Point did a cleanup of the dam.
Yeah.
Are they doing that again this year, do you know?
I don't think we have another ice storm.
All right, well, if no other questions or discussion, we can move on to number 4. Discussion and possible action to plan an egg hunt for the children of Wood Creek based on council's approved budget. So we did get a budget of $850. So the second printout that you received is the agenda item, with a budget breakdown. So just a little backstory on this event. Last year, a friend and our neighbor, Claire Palmer, we really wanted to do an egg hunt, and so we hosted one at Augusta Park. It was a free event. Anything that we brought, we just bought it and brought it. In order to participate in the egg hunt, we asked all families to drop off. We actually did 20 stuffed eggs per child last year. This year, we're only doing 10 stuffed eggs per child. And I had everybody just drop it off at my house, and we wrote down their name, and that's how I knew that their family was going to participate and how many kids we would have roughly. If you didn't drop off eggs, you had to bring them to the hunt. And so it was a really good turnout, in my opinion. I thought we had
People brought food, it was
Yeah.
like
it was like
potluck.
picnic potluck,
Right.
yeah.
It was great.
We probably
It was
had
a blast.
30, 40 kids.
Will you be gone?
And it's spring, so
Yeah.
people want to get out and
Exactly.
do things
Yeah.
and do things together. What's the day?
April 19th.
We'll be gone.
I'll be gone.
Okay. And
Um,
when do you leave?
I leave on April the 9th and I return on May the 10th.
Okay.
I'll be gone a month.
so
Nice trip.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Claire has offered to volunteer to help with this event, so I tried to get her on the board, but she's like trying to graduate. She's
I tried to
doing
get her onto
a
it.
bunch of things. She's like, I can't, it's not a no, it's a no for now.
Oh, good.
So hopefully she'll be joining
Oh, I'm
us.
sorry, I'm not gonna be here. It sounds like a great event.
It's gonna be fun. So last year we did, again, we had the, Easter egg hunt, and then we actually pulled together a bunch of supplies to do a kids obstacle course on the bocce ball court and then around the area right beside it that's all mulched now. And so that was really fun. We did an egg toss, for the kids and the adults. That was really fun. So this year, we're doing all of that, or at least I'm proposing that we do all of that. To make it a little more fun this year, we'd love to bring in, a face painter. I think would be really fun for the kids. And then some coffee and donuts because we're doing it in the morning, 9 to 11. Last year we did it from 1 to 3. It was hot. It was kind of nap time. So moving it before nap time when it's a little bit cooler, providing donuts and coffee. If we can get those sponsored from Wimberley Donuts and Fair Dinkum, that would be awesome. If not, we do have a budget for it, so we can spend up to $300. And you'll see all of that on here. Does anybody have, I guess we have to make a motion, or,
Can I say something?
yeah,
I was, telling Jim, we need a trash can.
yes.
Like we have at the playground, we need
Mhm.
one there and at the triangle, so I'm glad
Agreed.
that Jim to order one of those, and we can get it.
That would be one.
Oh, yeah.
Very
good idea.
smart.
Yeah.
Does it fall under the budget?
Well, it would,
We'll
Not
take it.
for us.
it would come out of the parks.
Y'all don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
They do
not the
it.
parks board, but the parks.
They're the parks maintenance.
Do you think we'll have them before Arbor Day?
I don't know, I'll ask Jim again. And I mentioned it
A
last.
lot of times they order them, I mean, they're here tomorrow.
Quick, yeah,
So,
like Mr. Print.
Yes.
Maybe a photographer by then too.
By the Easter,
It's possible,
possibly.
it's possible.
That'd be sweet.
Mhm. Yeah, I might put out a post that just says, would anyone like to volunteer and take pictures? And see if anyone bites the bait. And then maybe I guess they can't put it in Apple, it's already, the deadline's on Friday.
They're not the project. I mean, that's for the
But if-
official budgeted photographer. If somebody volunteered to take pictures, there's no way we're gonna stop them.
Correct, yes, but so you will choose out of the applications you have currently and move forward with one of those photographers. Okay.
If I was here, I would volunteer.
Are you the type?
She is a photographer, she's good.
Noted.
That's why that's probably what I do on our day too, is walk around and take other photos.
Good.
That's what I just tried to get as many as I could.
I'll just make sure that I hit, each of the areas and tables and people and stuff.
Perfect. Looking this over, does anyone have any questions or thoughts, ideas, comments? I think we need to make a motion to move forward with it, or?
Yes,
And then we can
Yeah.
discuss.
yeah, you would wanna have a motion to move forward
Okay.
with plans, for the egg hunt based on the approved budget of the county.
Will, Mayor, also, you're from C, will you also be managing the raffle giveaway? I think you did that last year,
At Arbor Day?
yes.
No,
Oh, we're talking
anything,
about these egg hunt, right?
You're anything that, I can get up there and yak about, I'm happy to do that, I just need the points to talk with them.
It wasn't mentioned, and you did a very nice job of it years ago, last year.
No, we'll get that, that's no problem.
Do we want to, are there any kinds of restrictions? Because I know,
Are we talking about Arbor Day or the egg hunt?
well, Arbor Day.
Okay, you
We
need,
need to stay on our, we
You
need to
gotta
stay
go.
on,
Yeah.
our- we're going back and forth, and
But we
we'll
can
check with you on
We can check. I know. Okay,
but if it also relates to egg hunt, you can bring it in for egg hunt.
It really doesn't.
okay.
So is the next A,
So
A
the next,
motion.
yes,
Okay, so I make a motion to, I don't know what the motion should be. Except that,
If you look on the community relations agenda in front of you, and it will say, discuss the possible action to plan blah, blah, blah plan. If you just start with, I move that the community relations committee plans an egg hunt for the, you know, based on the council's approved budget on April 29th.
I was second that, okay.
Yeah.
I move that we accept for the second annual community egg hunt at Augusta Park, not to exceed $900 from the community relations.
You can't change the budget. Budget's 850.
if they started that would
850.
be.
Okay, the August, do I even need to talk about the budget?
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
as budgeted.
As budgeted.
The egg hunt at Augusta Park as budgeted by the council. From the community relations line.
And just the date of the meeting, of the,
Would-
it's the 29th. April 29th.
The 19th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
April.
No.
There was a 9 in it. Half right.
What's the date?
April 19th. I'm sorry.
Okay. On April 19th, 9 to 11 a.m.
I second.
I think I'm gonna start seconding.
So what is the motion? That is,
Did we accept this? Well, I was asking Kathy.
We're moving forward with the egg hunt on April 19th.
Just accepting it.
With an $850 limit.
I'm glad you're here, Kathy.
now we have to vote, right?
Correct.
Alright, all those that vote to move forward with the egg hunt, raise your hand, say aye.
Yes.
Who seconded? You did?
Aye.
Hold on a second.
That'd be great.
No, very cool.
Look on the second one.
Alright, so now we can discuss and if anything's calling your name. As far as what needs to be done.
There's a request that we plan a volunteer appreciation event.
Yes, but we're still talking about the egg hunt.
We're discussing,
Oh.
So now we know.
We're not on
Talk
that.
about planning it.
we're not finished yet.
We gotta vote and then discuss,
What do we, okay.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, typically you want a motion on the floor to open discussion. It's not required, but it's, you know, it's good to have the motion, second, okay, discussion.
Any other discussion?
So is there any advertising or banners or?
Nothing has been done yet, so last year, everything was, we just shared the event via text and, cause it was just whoever we knew, our neighbors, you know.
It's right there, too.
So I did start a flyer that we'll start putting out, but nothing, I just wanted to make sure everything was confirmed before I spent any time on it, any more time on it.
Yeah.
So we do have a budget for, signage and promotional material, so those are things that I'd be happy to take
That's this.
responsibility for.
Is it?
That is the budget. That is at the bottom there. So
So would
the
you
verbiage
make-
will
what's
still
your-
be, you have to bring eggs. I would like, if it's okay, to have City Hall as the dropping point if we're opening it up to a full city event, instead of my front porch.
So a registration for parents with.
So the verbiage will
20
be,
eggs per child.
no, that was what we did last year, but it was like a lot of eggs. So,
10 seems like a lot of eggs, because
but if you go out and you're, like, you take your kids out, there's like a 10-year-old who 10 eggs is like, that's all I got. So everybody, we don't put a cap, we did not put a cap last year, like, okay, you stop once you get, X amount of eggs.
Did you
But
say at least 10 eggs?
at least 10 eggs. And what we learned from last year is that we will be more aware, more conscious of like where we're starting people. So we had all of the under 2 start right at the beginning. So all of those eggs were just laying on the ground, and we let them go for like 3 minutes, and then it was like 2 to 4, 2 to 5. Those kids let loose, got to hunt for 3 minutes, and then like it was in rounds basically. So we staggered the release for the kids. When I was talking to Claire about this, we were talking about maybe starting the little, like basically setting them up in different areas. Bringing the older kids because they just kind of trampled and took all the eggs. So setting them up towards the back, trail area of Augusta Park, and then the littles kind of right there in that mulchy area. But those are details we can work out. But the verbiage on the actual invitation will say, in order to participate, you must drop 10 stuffed eggs per participating child at City Hall by April 18th.
And we'll keep like a list of who dropped the.
Yeah,
eggs.
so I'll make like a sign-in sheet, and then they can just sign in, and 3 kids, 30 eggs.
And the age of the kids, what is range?
I don't really care. I mean, we didn't have any teenagers out there last year. I think the oldest were probably 11, 12. But they would just go with the older kids. But
So if we were to say 2 to 12 years of age?
I don't know if we even need this. If we feel like we need to say an age, we can put that in there, but
We need to know how many littles you're gonna have so you can put out enough.
Well, we'll
eggs.
get their ages when they sign up.
they're bringing eggs for their kids. We're not providing the eggs. So if you have a 2-year-old, you're gonna decide if your kid's gonna hunt eggs, and if they are, you're gonna bring 10 eggs for them.
So who's gonna lay out the eggs?
We will. So again, this will be details we need to talk about, but last year I had all the eggs at my house, and Claire and I met at Augusta Park and hid all of the eggs.
How long did that take?
It probably took about 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not too bad.
At one point, we were literally just like
Just
throwing eggs on the ground anywhere because
Yeah.
there were so many. Which was really cool. It was really fun. Like the kids were very excited that they got the eggs that they got. A lot of the kids that came went to other places the year before, and there was like a huge helicopter drop or something, and the eggs were all dropped in one area, and there were like kids going home crying because they got like 1 egg or 2 eggs or no eggs. And so that was one of the other reasons why Claire and I were like, why are we going outside of our neighborhood? Like, let's do that here. And we have all these parks that are just getting renovated, like getting, beautified. And so,
That's great.
we really wanted to showcase the parks and do a community event. So,
And they can be filled with anything?
I don't want to put too many rules and regulations on it, but just stuffed eggs. I'm gonna do little trinky toys because I don't want candy, and I don't want to.
I think the parents will be,
But
will
the
be
parents will
very
be,
aware.
yeah. I might stuff some Halloween candy. I don't know what I'll do, but. I think we just say stuffed eggs. If you guys have, do you want to say something else for?
So I know that there are older people who would like to probably participate in stuffing eggs and offering eggs or donating eggs. Just,
Well, let me know if you want to connect with them, and let me know how many we can expect. I don't think, we won't turn eggs away if you have somebody that wants to do that. Because even at 10 eggs per child, again, it's minimal, right? So at a minimum, 10 eggs, which if you were a kid running around looking for eggs, that wouldn't seem like very many. So,
But that might be something to put on the flyer, if any other residents of Wood Creek just wanna donate eggs for the kids.
Are there kids that, whose families wouldn't be able to do eggs for them?
potentially, we didn't have that happen last year, but again, it was, between Claire and I, our 20, 30 friends, and I say friends lightly, like they were neighbors, people we know here in the community. We have a budget. If we're not going over on certain other things, we put the $50 to stuffed eggs and have some, or if IRC know people who want to stuff eggs and donate them, or we put it on the flyer. I just think not making it too complicated, right? Like last year it worked out really well having, if you have 3 kids, bring us 30 eggs and you can do the egg hunt.
I just know that Linnea Bailey was looking for senior activities as well. And having seniors stuff eggs might be something that they would enjoy watching the little ones hunt for eggs. I know I do, I get joy out of it. And so it would be a way of bringing it in and having extra eggs for the kids. That's what I was thinking.
It's a good idea. You could have some people come, some seniors come here and stuff eggs.
And this is the second year, so if we find that this system doesn't work, like, we didn't put any line item money, like, we didn't ask for any money for eggs and candy, because bringing our own eggs last year worked out so well. So if we find that this doesn't work, we could reassess our budget, and for the third annual, we can provide all the eggs and figure out what that looks like. How do we get people to register by your address? Like, how does that work? Because there will be people from outside of Wood Creek that are like, I want to go to
Maybe.
that.
Yeah.
There were people.
Would you want to get some seniors together?
I do. I
Here
think
together?
Linnea- I think
Oh,
Linnea-
yeah, if we have extra
Right.
eggs, I think that's,
Yeah.
that's a bonus.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
right.
So we could ask Linnea.
So are you volunteering to ask, connect with them?
Yes.
Okay.
And that way you could have an asterisk on the flyer that says, if your family, is,
Unable,
would have, would be unable to provide eggs, please don't stop,
Yeah.
keep you from coming.
Yeah.
and so I could work that out with Linnea. Unless you'd like to do it, we know Linnea too.
She's not gonna be there.
I do, but I'm
She's not
not
gonna
gonna
be
be
there.
here.
Oh, that's right. All right, so,
I'm missing all of them.
no,
Oh, we'll have some fun for you. Then.
You're gonna have plenty of them.
You'll be in charge of the volunteer appreciation event.
Hello.
So the only thing I would suggest is when people say egg hunt, and it's like, oh my goodness, egg flu, and there are surcharges on eggs, but we're talking about candy eggs.
Stuffed,
So,
Stuffed eggs.
not
Plastic
hard
eggs.
boiled eggs. We want stuffed plastic eggs.
so how
There
can
you
that be said on a flyer?
Plastic eggs.
Plastic eggs, okay.
I'll show you the flyer we used last year. Literally not one person reached out with questions for clarity or
Did anybody complain about the candy?
they were like, this is a lot of eggs. This is really great. Thanks for doing this. Let me see if I.
I wonder if we could have some mascot bunnies out there, people in bunny costumes hopping around. Wouldn't that be
Like
fun?
the Easter egg,
Yeah,
or the Easter bunny?
like the Easter bunny.
Do you know the seniors? Ask Linnea if she'd like to dress up
That'd
like
be
an
cute.
Easter bunny.
If you could have somebody as Easter bunny to take photos.
It'd be
So,
adorable.
Like Santa sit on the Easter bunny's lap.
Just a costume.
It is
Standing
a
up.
costume, and it would be so cute.
It's just adorable with the kids.
Make a note.
So we need a volunteer for Easter bunny.
Oh darn, I wish I could be an Easter bunny.
You could help us find an Easter bunny.
So this was our invitation that we put out last year. So just hop on over for Easter egg hunt and picnic.
Hop on over, very clever.
And then we said pack a picnic and join us for a community egg hunt at Augusta Park. After the egg hunt, we'll have yard games, a kids obstacle course, and an adult egg toss. To participate in the egg hunt, you must drop 20 stuffed eggs per child at my address.
Simple.
And I had people that
And
I
so-
never met.
So you're
reach
gonna do
out.
it again that way with saying, bring a picnic.
Well, this year it's a little bit different because this was 3 to 5, so we can't, like, if people want to bring a picnic, they're more than welcome, but we're gonna provide donuts and coffee
Okay. But are you gonna?
while
put-
they last.
Are you gonna put a picnic? Are you going to put picnic on the flyer? I think it's a good idea.
Sure,
It's
I
from
didn't
9
know
to
that.
11. This,
sure, they can stay for lunch, they don't have to
Stay for
leave.
lunch.
at
9 to
Augusta Park.
11, and, I mean, you could do that, and then, if you wanna bring a picnic for after the
Yeah.
hunt,
we have egg salad sandwiches.
I want double those.
Yeah,
I love them too.
okay,
Do you-
so,
Do you think you could find somebody who'd be willing to wear a costume and be a mascot before you leave?
Well, I could try. I don't,
Ed
Yeah.
Fleming,
I'm sorry?
Ed Fleming, now you'd be a great Easter bunny.
I don't know Ed Fleming.
He's the president of
He'd be like a
Cypress Point.
7-foot Easter bunny.
Does he have a costume already?
I bet.
I doubt it. He's a very large man, very
Perfect.
tall.
Easter bunnies need to be big. They do.
He owes me.
Alright. Okay, so Betty, you
I'll
gonna
try.
connect with him? Okay, with Ed?
Yeah.
Reach out.
He will laugh.
You did not hear it from me.
No, I didn't.
Being our official Easter bunny.
Oh, so cute.
Claire and I do have I sent her a wild idea of a photo op, setup. And I don't know if she's gonna take it and run with it and do it, but these seem like the box photos where like the kids can sit in the box and then you put them in like a 3x3 frame. So we might work on putting this together for it so that the background of the box would just be eggs, and then they can sit inside of it with like a little bunny or something cute, just like little photos. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Does anybody have a great big egg? Like a
Claire has
cutout
a giant
egg.
Easter egg basket that we brought last year, like it's giant. And we had that like as a display thing. We put some eggs in there.
Wow.
And then we have some gold eggs, like giant
Okay.
gold eggs that we're gonna she's offered to put money in.
Well,
So,
that sounds
Yeah.
great for photos somehow.
yeah.
Beside that with the Easter bunny
Mhm.
and the kids.
So we're getting a little complicated now, I think. I mean,
What?
just the whole thing. Maybe my mind is getting complicated.
Maybe, I was just thinking that if I was an Easter bunny,
If you were-
which I'm not. But if I was an Easter bunny, it'd be nice to have the for photos for the Easter bunny to
If you
have.
can secure
a prop.
the Easter bunny, that would be,
That's enough.
yeah.
My mind went to, Easter egg decorating contest.
No.
That kind of thing with lace and
No.
rhinestones and, I know, I said no to me too.
You did say complicated. Okay, so. So for this event, you're gonna reach out to Linnea about getting donated stuffed eggs. Would you want to take the lead on getting the donuts and coffee as well? And I will take the face painter, the obstacle course, and the signage and promotional materials.
Okay. All right,
So I
so,
put you on donuts. The idea is to see if anybody would like to sponsor the event and give us donuts and coffee. Otherwise, we do have a budget of $300.
and how much is in the budget?
Coffee should be about $160 if you do fair income. If you are up for a drive, you can get the containers like we did for the seed stomp from Panera Bread. They're only $30. But you have to drive to Kyle. So there.
Oh,
I don't know.
We talked about finding urn
we were talking
Yeah.
about that, that's where I was going.
and brewing coffee.
Okay.
I don't know what the cost of an urn is.
Probably $50, $60.
You mean you're gonna buy one?
An urn to be used.
So that
Coffee
the
urn.
city could own an
Would
urn.
own it
that could be
and reuse
used.
it, I'm sure there'd be plenty of opportunities for it to be used.
Certainly saves money in the long run. I mean, still
Yeah.
got to buy the coffee and
I mean, I think we could definitely, here's one, I mean, the first few come up are under $60.
Cups.
This one is 45 cups for $60, 60
Where are
cups
you?
for 120
She's on
on
Amazon.
Amazon. Is this something that we would take out of our budget, or would this be a city purchase?
I mean, you could take it out of this budget, you know. If you're doing this instead of going, if it's $30 a container,
At Panera and Kyle, you can get like the to-go coffee, like gallon, I don't know if it's a full gallon, the boxes.
Mhm.
And I think they're about $30 for one.
if the city could buy that, then y'all would just have to buy the coffee and the cups and.
Yeah.
sugar and
We've
sugar,
got
so that would
lots
Save a
of-
lot of
Yeah.
money.
I mean, we can put it on office supplies, because it would be used for other things besides
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I was wondering if it would come out of ours for this or that. And then would I, or we need to source it and then you buy it, or would you
Just
find
go
it?
to
and
Amazon
buy
and
it?
get it.
What?
Just go to Amazon and get it.
but
Like
then,
we or Taffy?
Well, Taffy does the Amazon ordering, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you pick
Should
one.
I just send like a
send
wish
me one.
list? Okay.
I wish
I'll just
we
include
could
it
use
on the-
Costco instead of Amazon.
Well, Costco, maybe for the cups and the coffee, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Costco probably has none too. You know, go online on Costco and check.
I can go to Costco and check.
I need to make a Costco run anyway, so it's.
He needs to buy some.
You might have to buy it online from Costco. I feel like I haven't seen one at Costco. I just went.
You can order it online and pick it
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't wanna get political in here, but I'm avoiding big box stores except Costco.
Just let me know what I need to do.
Okay,
We got a little too close.
okay,
It's not as bad.
yeah.
I'm not connected to the internet. I was. Is there a time limit on this thing?
No,
it may be on your
So
computer.
will,
Do you need it again?
do you wanna take that, either, so will that be under you for coffee and donuts? You'll list for the Erin and send it to Taffy?
and Iris, Monica knows, is it Maggie at the donut
The
shop?
donut shop?
She knows her pretty well, so you might solicit Monica to go
Maybe at Arbor Day.
make a sponsorship run.
And maybe HEB,
They should be pretty good with this stuff.
donuts,
About donating,
some donuts.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
what
a
we've
great
done in
idea.
the past, yeah.
So it's Maggie
Donut
at the donut shop?
Donut holes would be great for the kids.
I'm just trying to go look, like a memory. In my mind, that's what I was thinking, but they could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
Local.
But donut holes are what we've done, for other events and the kids
Yeah.
keep that up like,
Okay.
the candy it is.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and then, let's see. Any other questions or? We need to, ready to go, we can move on to the next item?
Yeah, you're gonna wanna put it on your agenda, obviously, for your next meeting.
What goes on the
About that
agenda?
secretary?
Easter.
Done. What goes on the agenda?
The spring egg hunt.
Egg hunt.
Oh,
We'll need to. We have the budget, we need to get each item approved though, before we spend anything,
This, as long as you stick within this budget, the way it's,
the way we
this
presented
is
it.
what the council
Okay,
approved.
perfect,
So, you know, you can't go in and say, oh, yeah, now we wanna do blah, blah, blah.
okay,
You know, you can, yeah, you're good.
okay, perfect. I was hoping to eliminate a step line item.
This is what we wanna do from now on,
Yeah.
is go to the council, here it is,
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do.
Okay, so as those details wrap up, if you guys will just keep me posted once you've made contact with Linnea and let me know the status of that's moving forward or off the table. All right, and then number 5, discussion and possible action on the request from city council to plan a volunteer appreciation event at the Triangle in 2025 based on council's approved budget of $1,000.
So just give you a little background on this, this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. Iris and I have talked about it over the months. You know, we need to recognize our volunteers. So the thought for this is to invite everybody, every volunteer, you know, for Wood Creek, you know, would be invited to attend. We get somebody come cater it, but, you know, a council member would serve, you know, people when they come by, and we just have it as an informal, you know, gathering of volunteers, just to say thank you. So, pretty simple, but
So we have no
we don't have a
rough
date,
idea
we
of
don't have
the
a-
guest count we would expect, do you think?
100.
100 people?
We had a great birthday party It was dance party. That was so much fun. With, at the,
The 40th.
yeah, the 40th.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Well, that was a lot more
Dance
than
party.
$1,000.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that,
Would CYJ though let us use their facilities? Would they want to?
Well, we said that we just do it,
Like a
informally,
triangle
as
or-
a triangle.
okay.
And, I mean, it's like, it may even be something that, council gets together and does like cooking. And just like when we've done the like trivia night with the, what group is that? One of the nonprofit groups that does trivia night, one of the husbands makes massive amounts of enchiladas.
Oh,
And they just do it.
labor love.
Yeah, yeah. But we could do something like that, or maybe we could get like Marco's to donate a couple of trays of lasagna, and we could buy a few, and they can donate a few, and I think we can make $1,000 go far enough. And if we had enough money to maybe get the Electric Honeys or somebody
Live
play,
music, yeah.
we could have some music at the triangle,
Do we know anybody?
Don't you need some kind of, entertainment?
Like live music or
Well,
something
I
more?
mean, or an event, I mean, something, I don't know what I'm thinking,
Some draw to get them to come, like why am I coming?
yeah.
So this was basically just to get it on your radar, so that
Yeah.
you start narrowing down, okay, so it'd probably be best to do it in the fall, and so we'll look at, okay,
Yeah, so
where is it not gonna conflict with a
Like,
bunch of other
I
stuff?
don't know, like have the city council do a sketch or something.
Get talent over.
A talent show. I mean, something that would,
I'll judge.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
No, it
I mean,
wouldn't,
something that would,
that's fine.
I don't know, I don't know, just an
That's
idea,
what
but
we
it
do,
would be fun,
brainstorming.
yeah. Some kind of skit to show appreciation or I'm sure they've know most of the people that have volunteered and funny things have happened and maybe share some things or roast people or something.
Roast people. Are you on next door?
Yeah, it's easy to get roasted in this city, isn't it?
So aiming for the fall, is that right? Is that what I heard?
I
And
think
a $1,000 budget.
Yeah, we have $1,000, I
Yeah,
think,
that's
just looking
what's
at.
been approved so far. If y'all come together and say, okay, this is what we wanna do, it's gonna be more than $1,000.
Mhm.
But, the other thing is, fall's kind of funny, because if it falls in November, that's a new budget year.
Yeah,
So,
If it's in November,
yeah, our budget year is October to September.
And sometimes in September it's still 100 degrees, so.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right. So
Sometimes in October.
I think,
it's one of those things, maybe it's sort of around the sort of Thanksgiving season, but not Thanksgiving, obviously, but something like that, so we're giving thanks to all.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yes,
Friendsgiving.
it's actually gonna be end of October.
It could be a big pile.
Thanksgiving.
Friendsgiving.
Time.
Well,
A
that's
Friendsgiving.
a potluck and the residents, if they wanted to donate food for the volunteers, and appreciate the volunteers.
I just had a,
Oh, no.
no, I know, it's.
What is it?
It could be really cool if we did, had some food catered, or whether it was the food or the drinks. If it was like a potluck style, and then depending on how many people RSVP, like do a really cool table setup, like communal style, like big table at the triangle.
Mhm.
Hang some twinkle lights, have some music in the gazebo. And they get like a dinner versus like a stand around, come and go. Here's a hot dog.
That's a good idea.
But maybe it's where
It
you're
makes it a
coming, you're
little
taking
bit
it.
more special.
Yeah, more intimate, where you're sitting down, having dinner, giving thanks. Mayor, we could all go around and share stories, or the mayor could give a little speech, of course, but.
We could invite the boys from the radio station to sponsor music for us at the gazebo. all this is going on as well.
Yeah. So I think the idea of having it on the agenda is like putting it in our minds and like starting the brew and start thinking of what could be fun, and then we can come together, put some budgets together. The next item is the actual calendar event, so we can look at like what we have throughout the year and then kind of plug in a date that would make sense for this before the year is over.
I'm also thinking about summer and who's gonna be here and who's not. And so how much time we actually have to work on several different, well, we have two.
I'm gonna say that we don't do it over the summer unless somebody,
No,
okay,
planning.
Planning.
yeah.
And starting it in motion. The sooner we do that, in some ways, the better.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I just got confirmation on the radio for Monday morning.
Thank you.
It was this.
Hey,
Okay, so maybe if we all think about this and then our next meeting on the 3rd, we can come back with some ideas of like more solid planning for it, and then once we talk about, the calendar events, which we'll talk about next, we can solidify and like confirm a date at our next meeting
Confirm a date.
for this appreciation event.
Oh, yes, okay. So the calendar is being created as we talk.
Kind of.
Sort of, there's also like several things that the city already does, so that we're plugging it in and not doing too much in 1 month or one time of the year.
And then we also wanna, brainstorm things that maybe should be on the calendar, but
Yeah.
like, something around like the opening of the community garden.
Yeah.
Or, things like that could be, on the calendar.
do we have a community garden? Damn, where is it?
These are secret.
Yeah. Has a really good touch because of the drought, but now we have water tanks and it needs to be revamped, and I was hoping Parks and Trees would take it.
Okay,
But it's
okay,
right here in city in the parking lot in that fenced area. I'll walk you back there and show you.
okay.
But
Let me see it.
it's Claire, I'm strapped to put that together too.
But it's one of those things that like the Easter egg hunt, the community garden, all the previous administration was reluctant to give any press to anything that was not an official
They
city
wouldn't talk
function.
about it at all.
And the community garden
They-
wasn't an official
told me no.
community thing.
Sanctioned anything, so they wouldn't
I
let
see.
me, like, I would send things, like, can you share this? It's not a city.
They wouldn't
function,
share, they
right?
just wouldn't do it, so
I
we
see.
have a different
For the
mindset.
members, yeah.
Claire and I, we hosted a movie night here last fall, and it was like, we did the little shop of horrors, and it happened to be on a, eclipse day. It was like the perfect timing of everything, and then they wouldn't even share it, they wouldn't even promote it. And
Oh my
I'm like, it's at City Hall,
Who is they?
Not,
previous staff,
And, And
previous city manager
council.
and city secretary.
No, it wasn't the council.
It wasn't council.
It wasn't
was
council,
on-
got it.
They were approving the events, and
well,
there was one council member that didn't even want us to use the bathroom here at City Hall. I was like, we're at City Hall, we can't use the bathroom.
sorry, kids, we gotta go home to everybody.
I'll be back later.
Yeah, to the events calendar, another thing that.
Wait a minute,
All right.
excuse me, did we need to
We're not done with number 5 yet.
make, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. So I think right now, I don't feel like we have any action that we need to take on this item, other than going home and kind of
Thank you.
everybody doing some homework and
But it will
brainstorming.
be an agenda item for next.
It will be
meeting.
on the agenda for
Okay.
next month, yeah. Any other thoughts on,
By the way, on the agenda, so for a Thursday, I mean, basically just has to be posted, we have to have it and have it all set official posted by the Monday before. But we probably look at, we can get it the Friday before, that'd be even better.
so in theory, it should have been yesterday.
72 hours,
Oh, Monday, like the 31st,
yeah,
okay,
so yeah, it's 72 hours in advance
okay.
of your meeting, yeah.
I would roll by
So
Monday
like Monday at 11 o'clock would be the absolute deadline.
Is that,
or Friday.
so which day are we looking at?
Monday the 31st, we
Got
would
it.
need the agenda submitted by 11 a.m.
No, we have to post it.
Oh, okay, so
So you have to-
Friday.
Yeah, we have to have the agenda before,
Okay.
and it has to be posted,
We
but,
have to work.
but posting it is easy, and it's like, so we finally figured, hey, yeah, you send something to Taffy or me, or both, and just say, hey, here's the 3 items we want on the agenda, and, well, you don't have to really write up the actual.
Okay, so
agenda,
it's
you just-
this Friday.
So
Yeah,
we're-
it would be this Friday would be optimum. Just to have the items, but basically, you're just sort of
The
taking
next-
what's already here
Mhm.
and saying, okay, we want to bring this back, we want to bring this back, and we want to add this.
Good. Is there a form for that?
Just so you know.
No, okay.
There can be,
I used a template.
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe,
What
Okay, we'll share it.
maybe it's in that.
I created a template
Oh,
and then I made a copy of my minutes.
I
Of
think
my,
there's a template on Microsoft.
Is it this one?
no.
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 Is that a?
No, this is Carrie's
Yes,
template for the
it
minutes.
is.
Yeah, she created this.
So this is what she would.
Oh,
need.
no,
I have
that's
the
your cover
agenda
sheet.
template. And I will do my agenda and then print it and save it. And then the next month I will use the same form
Right,
again.
right, exactly.
That's what seems like it would be smart. Is there a template?
No, but ours could probably send you first, right?
I already sent me your template.
But the template is for the agenda. You're not writing the agenda.
No, she's submitting.
She is, she's the
the
secretary.
items.
So you're sending it to her? No.
We're together gonna work on the items and she will actually submit it as secretary.
All right, I'll send it to you,
Okay,
but not tonight.
no, don't worry.
It's by Thursday.
I
so we
wouldn't
can
do
get it by
anything.
then.
And a trick I have learned is, when I make a copy of the minutes, is that I use the agenda and then change the color of the words and add it on the same form.
Yeah.
And I, at the top, add agenda and minutes. And so the agenda is in black, the minutes are in red.
Doesn't she sound like a secretary? Doesn't she sound like a vice chair / secretary?
No,
She's
I
very
sound
organized.
oppositional defiant.
So I don't guess you want to be / secretary.
No, you are. I don't want to get in your
Okay.
way.
Yeah, let me switch role.
We'll figure something
I'll
out.
Alright.
send it to you though, so you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I'll
so
have Friday.
we'll put that on the
Make a
agenda.
note to myself.
So no action, we'll move on to number 6.
No action, just on it, okay. Now I can go to 6. How
We
many
might make it
numbers
to
do
public
we
tonight.
have?
I need your email address.
That 6 is
Oh,
the
let me
financial
write
one.
it.
All right, so the next item, number 6, discussion and possible action, request from city council to create an events calendar for the city.
Okay, thank you.
So what is all this deal with this?
Does someone want to make a
Don't we
motion on
have a
that?
calendar?
What we don't have is
The
a
calendar,
calendar that says, okay, these are annual events. These are ad hoc events that may or may not be held again. These are events that, may be proposed. So basically what we want is.
you want listing.
Yeah, a listing of the events. Now, then, from that point, then we go, okay, community relations is going to be responsible for these 4, per se.
I see.
And so y'all sit down and say, okay, well, what do we want to do on those 4 things? What are the budgets going to be? So that when you come to the council and say, here is the events calendar and the budgets for the items that we want to do, they can basically in one motion, approve all the budgets. And then you don't have to keep coming back to council asking for permission, to get stuff done. So it's, the goal is ultimately to have sort of this annual calendar of things that the city wants to do, that especially the things that community relations is gonna support, but not necessarily. Because it may not be a full thing. It may be, okay, we do a Veterans Day thing somewhere, or or we volunteer to help out here, or like the emergency preparedness fair. You know, that's gonna be on the calendar.
So
But
I
that's
know-
not something that y'all are planning.
Yeah, so I have a list of what I've, just from watching council meetings and then just doing some digging around, of what I am aware of that I wanna just share, and then, that's when we can go in and plug in other things that we wanna bring to the table, we wanna bring to life, the beautification project.
So this is the calendar for the entire, for every single event that
Correct.
Wood Creek has.
Right.
Okay,
So, does someone wanna make a motion?
I don't know. Or, if we're supposed to do it, we take it, is the motion for us to,
So you'd
for this
just
committee
read
to
this,
take it on?
You're gonna own the calendar.
the motion would just be.
You're going to own the calendar.
So I propose that we create an events calendar for the city. Based on
I think that's right, for 2025.
quarterly calendar,
I
semi-annual.
would just say annual event calendar.
Annual calendar of events,
Mhm.
but
Or you can just read number 6, right?
yeah,
That's
it's just,
Just request from city council to create an events calendar for the city.
requesting the city council.
No,
create it.
It was a request from them
To-
for us to.
So,
make
so
this.
what you're looking for is a motion that says the
Oh.
CRC, the
Takes
CRC
on the
is
responsibility
going
of
to
creating the calendar.
review past and possible future events for the city. And record those as part of an events calendar, to present to the city council.
Do you want to finish yours?
Um. I propose that we approach the city council about creating an events calendar.
You don't have to approach them, they've already asked you to do it.
So we just need to take it on. Did
Yeah.
I make a
We just
motion?
need to
You
Yeah.
have
accept their
I mean, you say,
request.
no, we're not gonna do it.
Okay, so then
We
I
accept their request.
propose a motion that we accept the request from the city council to create an events calendar for the city of Wood Creek, an annual calendar.
And I second it. Beat you.
So, since Cheryl already has, some of the things written down, so at the next meeting, bring that list in for discussion and additions, and just start having something to start building on.
Mhm.
So it wasn't in the packet for this one, so we couldn't really start building on it this time, but we certainly can next time.
Okay. But we can discuss it right now.
Yeah, you can discuss
Okay.
it, for
You
sure.
want them to vote first?
Oh, yeah, but
All in favor of accepting the request from city council to create an events calendar for 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Who seconded? Cheryl.
Betty did.
I
So just looking at what we've done in the past, if you, I don't know if I'll send this out or if y'all take your own notes, but, what I'm aware of so far, so, do we have anything in January and February? I didn't notice anything. Okay. So March is historically been the emergency preparedness fair, right? April Arbor Day, this year, we have Arbor Day, we have the citywide garage sale, and we have the egg hunt.
God.
So,
oh, and you got, well, trash pickup too.
and
That's kind of.
Yeah,
But
but
I mean, it's still something to be on the calendar.
we have April 8th,
what is it?
the bulk trash pickup.
Is that
Which
started?
we can add to that, y'all don't have to remember all that, so I'm just saying that those are the kind of things that, it's not an event, but it's something that you want on the calendar as a reminder, oh yeah, we always do the trash pickup then, that would be a good time to have our, whatever.
I know that the citywide garage sale staff, you guys are handling that and doing it all. I'm wondering if, and maybe this is not something I should even concern myself with, but having Arbor Day and then the garage sale the next day and then Easter all in April, is there any
That's
like reasoning behind when they're scheduled, or how is that
So
taken into
June,
consideration?
And everybody complained it was too hot.
The garage sale is so good for July.
But June or July, okay, and then May, there's Mother's Day, there's graduation, so everybody was like, there's too much stuff going on in that. So that's kind of why.
Gotcha. Do we think that will just be an annual or biannual garage sale? Just
We've
once?
been doing it annually. But again, there's nothing that says it needs to be in April.
We could do it in October, September, when we
Yeah.
don't have as many events.
Do the bulk pickups, is that like something you're working with their schedule, or you say, hey,
Right.
we want it to
No.
come in April, or?
We did it after the garage sale, so if people wanted to just drive over and jump
Yeah.
to the road and sit up on the road.
Yeah, we just coordinate with.
Okay, okay. I'm just wondering, like, how, when we do the calendar and we have all these events, like, if it's something we can plug into holes, or if we need to work around it, so we don't have too many things in one
And
month.
waste connection.
Maybe that's what we could do is be able to recommend that some things be changed.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Once we have the whole calendar together.
exactly. Once you can see the whole thing in front of you,
Yes.
say, oh,
It doesn't make sense.
yeah,
This
there's
is
a big
off.
hole here that it would fit perfectly. okay.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to,
Yeah.
and I know, again, you guys are handling it, but when we think of the actual overall calendar and how we can plug it
It
in.
still impacts other things
Yeah.
that
Um,
you wanted.
And waste connections, we usually just have to give them a few weeks and say, okay, here's, or even a month and say, okay, this day, or this day, and that's kind of, they picked that, so that's kind of how we did the garage sale.
It should be a good one, just because Arbor Day is the day before, so I don't know if I'll have time to prep, but it being the first weekend and having market days.
Yeah, and we can't do it on market day anymore.
We've had
Okay.
people complain, and I don't know why, I would think there's more people.
We
than
have, Deb and I hosted our own garage sale on a market day, and we
That's
had a ton of people, like,
Yeah, that's-
it was a good
That's,
day.
no, we got in trouble with the Lions Club.
I mean, I think so.
oh, it's the Lions Club guys.
Lions Club
Well, we had 4 or 5
complained.
complaints.
Oh,
So
really?
it's like, that's, anyway. No, exactly, that's kind of what Jim said.
Yeah.
That's their deal.
Alright, so April, we have Arbor Day, garage sale, and this is just for this year, the bulk trash pickup and Easter. Then we have the next big event is 4th of July. in
Yeah, we
July.
had the Fourth of July parade, so we participate in the parade,
Mhm,
which is a lot of fun.
mhm.
We'd like to get more participation there.
For the city, for our own parade or for the Waverly?
Wood Creek participates in the Woodbury parade. We don't have our own parade at this point,
Mhm,
but, and then the fireworks.
mhm. Perfect. And then we jump to October, or actually, last year we did, in August, we had the pool party neighbors
Oh,
hangout
yeah,
in August at
CYJ day.
CYJ. It was like an end of the summer pool party.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so I have that on notes that I think that would be really fun to do again.
Yeah.
When's National Night Out?
Let me look.
Cause that might be something to coordinate that with.
We've done it.
That was our first Arbor Day.
Yeah, we've sort of gotten out of the National Night Out thing.
That might be something we
There's
should.
also a tree giveaway.
In November, yeah, that's on here.
So that's a pretty full calendar.
First Tuesday in August.
Not in Texas.
I know, but that might be
This
the
is just
day.
National Night Out.
Yeah, we get a like a Texas break on.
Where do you look, or is it not a affiliate, like?
Look up National Night Out Texas.
The first Tuesday of October.
I think that one day in October.
Why did they do that?
So then really.
We can make it a Wood Creek Night Out, and do
That's-
it any day.
Yeah, that's what
Wood
I'm
Creek
saying.
Day Out.
That's what I'm saying, with the swim thing.
Yeah.
CYJ.
That was really fun.
And that might
Everybody
be-
that I knew was there that really enjoyed it.
There's a volunteer appreciation event also that goes on the calendar.
Volunteer appreciation.
Yeah, so I'm just going over what is already an event that's already been happening, so, so August was the CYJ pool party, I forgot about that one. And then October, we skipped and moved October for Spooktacular, and then November we had the tree giveaway, and then in December, last year, the parks did not distribute luminaries, they just did the entrance, and I'm not sure if where we stand on that, or what that looks like, or if we can re-envision what we do in December for Christmas.
How about some caroling?
I would love a mini market with Christmas caroling and like hot cocoa and hot cider at the Triangle.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, the luminary thing, okay, the first year, and it was all Pat Rollins.
Yeah.
right? So it was.
It's not like the idea of fire,
he was-
drought.
He was driven, and so, you know, the first year it was relatively, it's sort of disappointed that, you know, like, you know, Wood Creek Drive, for instance, wasn't just packed with luminaries.
Yeah.
But, you know, we did the entrances, we did the triangle. A lot of us did I guess it wasn't too bad, but it just was so spotty, and we're thinking, okay, well, next year it'll get better. But then we lost Pat, so
Right.
there wasn't a driver. And so Parks Department said, we'll just decorate the entrances in the triangle.
Yeah.
But we had the equipment, I mean, we had the stuff, we had that, so we might as well use it. So that would be
What
a,
is it?
I like the
That
idea.
was also right after Spectacular. That was just a lot. When looking at this, do we have something every month?
it wasn't right after Spectacular, it was Christmas
No,
Eve.
it's in December, Christmas Eve.
I just mean that they were worn out, and they were also working on the
I think
park.
the park situation is probably.
We did most of that work. Like, we
Yeah.
did the best, did all the bags,
Yeah,
people would come. and
Well, that's
we'd
something
get-
seniors can do.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, we were having people.
the
get
whole
their
deal
things,
is you have
that
people
was-
pick up the bag, pick up this candle, take them home and do it themselves.
I saw a lady, my neighbor, 2 houses down. She made it all the way, pushed her trash can to come down and get sand. And I was like, she's like, this is the only vessel I have on wheels to carry sand home. I was like, oh.
Well, can't the seniors put all that stuff together?
No,
Why?
It's not that
it's
easy.
heavy. Sand is very, very heavy.
It's, yeah, I mean,
Well,
if we
have
had great
sand
store
delivered.
ideas for Christmas,
But if we did something like, you know, caroling and wassail and things at the triangle and, you know, you get some of the seniors get a little carol
Sure.
group together, and, I mean, so it's something for everybody.
So I'm gonna talk to Linnea about getting headstone by seniors. I'm gonna see what else she might have to
Any ideas?
suggest.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, see if one of the churches will volunteer to have their choir come out and sing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would cost, I mean, if we kids may do, that'd be no money.
that cost, yeah, I know.
Don't Linda and Pat still sing at the church? Big choirs.
Who?
Linda
Pat
and
Rawlings.
Pat Rawlings are big.
Oh,
choirs.
yeah, they're in the community chorus. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've asked them, when Claire and I were doing something for Christmas, maybe 2 years ago, and it's just working around their schedule, because December, they're very busy.
Yeah, they say pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another idea I had, and I don't know if it would be feasible or too much, is if neighbors, like a household could sponsor a light display at the Triangle. Like have a walkabout at the Triangle of like lights, like,
Like per street or something maybe?
yeah,
We
or
know
like
that,
a group of neighbors, like,
does
here's our
anybody-
display.
Did anybody go to the Wimberley tree lighting?
Yes, I was, we were in the crib and I decorated my first float.
It was huge.
Yes,
I mean, it was well attended.
yes, it was very.
Yeah.
Of course, they had that giant tree.
They had a giant tree,
Yeah.
but I don't know, we can talk about specifics for each of
And it
these,
was
but
also coordinated with what was going on at,
Volleyball chance.
the place, Emily Ann. The Emily Ann lights was coordinated with the,
so the
First.
Christmas parade was put on by the chamber and the merchants, the Wimberley merchants.
uh-huh,
I only know this because my boss is the chair.
Yeah.
of the chamber,
well,
and it was like a very well-oiled machine, and now Michelle Woods, who is the director of tourism for Wimberley, like her and Helena kind of orchestrated most of the event. But it was well attended, it was well done, like.
And a lot of people, because I went to all of it. It was nice to be able to go to all of it at the same time,
Yeah.
starting at the Emily Ann.
Yeah. It was
It
great,
was
yeah.
cool.
But we're having, instead of luminaries, like a big Christmas tree lighting at the triangle, like something that isn't just, because a lot of people aren't home for Christmas Eve, and a lot of
Yeah.
people, or we're in a drought and everything is almost
That's scary to have
catching
candles.
on. Like, I did never do it just because I'm like, I just don't want to do a little live flame in a bag in my driveway.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Even if they were like the little LED lights in the bag would have been a better, I don't know, but if we can, if that's gonna fall on us, I'd love to brainstorm some ideas.
Well, I've got, like, I just jotted down like 14 things,
Mhm.
so there's a pretty long list.
Yeah.
And that's not even all of them.
Yeah,
That's just what we can remember on the tops of our heads.
exactly.
So let's put that list together and put it on the agenda, for next Thursday.
On my list was Pie Social. One year we tried to have Arbor Day and was conflicted with the Pie
That was
Social.
last year.
That was happening in Wimberley, and I thought we need to have our own Pie Social. I like pie.
I'll be a judge for that.
Yeah, I'm also joking. Have you ordered those pies before? They're delicious.
She donated some for the wrap
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
one year. That was
Yeah.
really good.
I know that when we go into the calendar and look at these events, like there's always, and we ran into this, like you just said, with the Pie Social, there's always gonna be things happening, right? Wimberley's a busy town, like there's always gonna be something, but when I think of what we're doing here in the community, one thing that we continue to hear, which is why I got involved, I'm like, why do we need to leave our neighborhood? Like, I get leaving our neighborhood, but like, why can't we do some of these things here? And so that's what I really would love to like, bring to life and think about what we really wanna do and what we wanna bring. And come to each meeting with ideas and prepare to like talk about it or explain it. So that we can actually move forward and move the needle forward on them.
With some advance notice. I mean, I think the more time we have to develop an idea, the better
Exactly, yeah.
that we can manifest it.
But, all right, I don't think we have any action to necessarily take on that. We'll put that on the agenda for next week already. And then unless anybody else has any thoughts or ideas that we want to bring up.
Now, do you want to send me all of your list of,
Yeah, so
Thanks.
I'll send you
you
this.
send me that, will you send me your list too? And I'll put it all together for our agenda.
So this is next week. Just thought I'd give us a grounding here.
Mhm.
So this is next week.
So I think our big.
And
focus
typically,
for-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think our big focus for next week will just be making sure we are good on the egg, like Arbor Day will be the next day. Which I feel pretty good about that already, but, making sure we all feel good on the egg hunt, and then just bringing our ideas to the table. We don't have to solidify any dates or
Yeah,
plans.
normally you wouldn't have your organizational meeting
Yeah,
and set the official next meeting for the next
so
week.
soon.
It would be like a month and a week from
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So, will there be volunteers to help set up
For what?
Arbor Day?
Of course.
There'll be the Trees and Parks Board and us. And Krista. And Krista.
Yeah, I'm
City-
recruiting.
And we recruit city
I'm gonna
council.
suggest
for
Couch
the
show
meeting.
up.
Yeah,
They're usually pretty good at it.
they're pretty good, yeah. Anything else?
Oh, I think Judy needed some questions that could be asked to the panel.
Oh, I have those as a draft, I just sent them to her. Hoping people just have some questions ready, but I have like 10 that we'll email to her, or just print and have it ready. or if anybody thinks, if you have any that you're like, this is a good question, or people, I find people asking me
I
this.
have a few questions for her.
Okay,
Good.
if you want to email them to her.
I will.
Okay.
She was having trouble with her knees.
Oh, really?
I think it's her knees, her feet. Ouch. Neuropathy.
We didn't pick up then.
So keep that in mind, because she doesn't keep them very much
Yeah,
at all,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah.
No, but they were.
That bumps me to hear. I mean, she just volunteered to walk the triangle area
I
and
know, I heard that.
missed you. I didn't ask her to do that. She volunteered to do it.
I know. She's going with me to Texas A&M for a garden tour
Nice.
in April.
All right, well, if we don't have anything else, our next meeting will be next Thursday, the 3rd at 11 a.m. Ooh, I just wrote April for the first of the date. And
So
motion to adjourn?
third at 11 a.m., right?
Yes, adjourn 6:34.
Good job, y'all.
Thanks, good
Good
job,
job.
good job.
So did they need a second to adjourn?
No,
Okay.
There's no vote.
good job.
I mean, generally we do. I was like, you know, just have it,
I have it.
but it's not debatable.
Or
Yes.
your phone number.
My sister is